Now, what I'm going to do tonight a little bit as well is we're going to talk about goal setting. We're going to talk about what's going to happen over the next number of weeks, and I want to talk a little bit about surges in your business. Okay, and these things are really important, I think, to go through initially when we first start Fast Track, so that we really understand what it is that we're trying to accomplish here. Okay, so what I want everybody to do is grab a pen and a paper as we go through this, and you can either jot down some notes, or you can draw pictures, or you can just draw smiley faces, or you can just scribble, or whatever it is that you're going to do. But definitely it's a good idea to jot down a few notes and things like that as we go, and keep an eye on kind of the goal in terms of where we're going to get to. Over the next, how many weeks do we have, Michelle? Do we have 5 or 4?
I believe it's 5.
Okay, so over the next 5 weeks that we're in Fast Track together, I need everyone to initially set a goal in terms of where you want to be at the end. Okay, now how we're going to do that is obviously you're going to basically determine it based on what kind of income you want to earn, where you're going long term. You know, it's important that we set some initial baseline goals, and then you can work it back. So for instance, let's say right now you're a brand new member, and you can obviously scale this down based on where you're at in your current business right now, but let's say you're a brand new member and you currently have 0. All right, well, first off, there's going to be a bit of a learning curve. Okay, there's going to be a little bit of time, obviously, where you're going to be learning how to build a business. You're going to be learning how to, market online, how to do advertising, all that kind of stuff. But that's not to say that we can't build our business at the same time. That's not to say that we can't get results at the same time. Now, our goal, maybe it's $2,000 a month, maybe it's $5,000 a month, maybe it's $10,000 a month. Okay, for the year, okay, for the next 12 months, for the next 6 months, wherever your goal is at, I mean, you should have a clear idea in terms of a dollar amount that you want to be at your goal. And then basically all we're going to do is we're going to break it back from there. So let's say, for instance, and I'm going to take some conservative numbers, let's say over the next 6 months, okay, and you're a brand new member, you just started your business, let's say you have an income goal of $2,000 per month after 6 months, okay? And obviously you're going to write down your own number, whatever it is right now, over the next 6 months, what you want to earn. And what I want you to understand is that the last couple of months in the 6 months is going to be kind of the biggest jumps in your income, okay? Initially it's going to go a little bit slow, but then it'll grow and grow and grow, and especially in network marketing, what happens is when you stick with it long enough, it's always near the end that it kind of skyrockets upwards. It's not at the beginning, normally, that it skyrockets. It's normally towards the end of the goals and towards the end of the time as you're building that you're going to get bigger increases. So let's say over the next 6 months, you want to be able to earn $2,000 a month. So let's break that down. So at 3 months, okay, halfway through, potentially maybe we want to be at $500 a month, okay? And I'm just taking some numbers out of the air here. This isn't an exact example. This isn't, exactly what you should do. I'm just kind of giving you an example of how you should break this down in terms of your income. And the reason why I didn't cut it right in half to 1,000 is because, again, it's those 4th, 5th, and 6th month where you're going to see bigger gains. The first few months are kind of the initial growing, learning, building kind of the baseline, building the foundation for our business as we grow. And again, normally you're going to be spending more money when you first start a business on advertising and marketing, and then once it gets going, obviously that's going to start paying for itself. Okay, so if at 3 months we're at $500, let's say at 5 weeks, which is almost half of 3 months, let's say $250. Okay, so $250 a month after 5 weeks, and again, if you want to make $20,000 in 6 months, you just multiply all your numbers by 10. But I'm going to go conservatively. I'm going to say after the 5 weeks, I want to be earning $250 a month. Okay, and again, that might be low for some people. That might be high for some people. It depends on what your ultimate goals are, and you can work out your own numbers. So to be able to get to $250 a month. Now what I have to determine is a couple of things. One, I have to get a value, and I want you to write this down. I have to get a value per member. Okay. Now, you're not going to know necessarily what that value is when you first start because you don't have any members. Okay. How you figure out that value, there's a little thing in the back office that'll help you with that as well. I'm going to go and log in right now, actually, while we're talking, so I can tell you exactly where it is. But basically, what we want to figure out is what each member is worth. So when I generate a member, that's somebody that opts into my business. I want to know how much that person is worth to me. Okay, and the reason why I want to know how much that person is worth to me is because then I can better gauge my advertising dollars and how much I'm going to spend to get a member. Okay, again, our whole purpose in a funded proposal is to have the advertising pay for itself. Okay, and actually you can find some of that valuation per member. You can calculate that out. It's called income goals. Okay, under the success tab in the members area. It's under income goals, and basically what you're going to do is you're going to plug in the income that you're receiving from each individual business, and you're going to put in how much you want to make, what your income goal is in terms of time, and then it'll tell you currently how much they're worth to you and how long it's going to take and how many members you should get per day, per week. Okay, and you can figure this out on a piece of paper. You can use that. Now, like I said, when you're first starting out, though, you're not going to have, you've got 0 members. You've got 0 income. You don't have any money coming in. So it's hard to initially kind of come up with these numbers, but I'm going to give you some averages in terms of some of the things that I've seen in different people's businesses. Okay, so I'll give you a couple different numbers that they're using. Okay, so we want to find out what the value per member is to be able to reach $250 per month. Okay, how many members do I need? Because again, that's a tangible number. Okay, that's something that you can figure out. How many members do I need to get to $250? Well, to be able to figure that out, you basically just have to divide $250 divided by the value per member, how much a member is worth. Now, in terms of other people's businesses that I've seen members worth anywhere from $1 per member, basically across the board. And this is an average. Again, some members, you got to remember, are going to upgrade in the programs. Some members aren't going to do anything. Some members are going to duplicate and obviously advertise their business and generate more and more members, which equals more money. But basically, we want to just take the total number of members divided by the income you're receiving equals your value per member. Okay, so their value per member is $1. Okay, other people, their value is $5. Some have it $10. Some have it as high as $20, okay? Now, I'm going to kind of break this down for you in terms of what I've seen. Again, I can only give you my experiences. I can't give you what exactly it's going to be for you, but I can give you what happens in my experience. In my experience, normally the value per member is low when we first start, okay? And it actually grows as we build our business, okay? So when you first start, when you get your first, 20 members, 30 members, you might not have any income. It might, value per member might be at 0. But once you hit 50, once you hit 100 members, right around 100 members is kind of a magic mark that we all want to try to shoot for. Because at about 100 members, you're going to start seeing a half-decent income coming in, okay? Now, again, I'm not going to tell you exactly what yours is going to be. You got to figure that out. You got to go out and do it, and then you got to calculate your own in terms of how much, income you're generating from each member. But what I've seen, again, and as long as you're following the success guide to get the members and you're not just buying them from somewhere or people are just, giving you these guaranteed hits or goofy things like that, as long as you're using the advertising methods that we teach, when you get to about 100 members, you start to see some good income coming in. Okay? You start to see a half-decent return on what you're doing. So let's say, for instance, our value per member, and I'm just going to take an average here, of $2.50. Okay, let's say in this example it's $2.50. Okay, that's how much we're generating per member as we start building our business. And again, that's an average. Okay, that's not what every member makes you. I'm just giving that as an average in terms of what we're going to do for this example. So if each member is worth $2.50, to be able to get to my $250 per month on a residual basis, on a recurring income, I need to have 100 members. Okay, 100 members times $2.50 equals $250 in income. Now, that may not sound like a lot to some people, but $250 a month coming in month after month after month after month without you having to really do anything new, that's a pretty good income. That would pay for your advertising. And that would pay for your advertising pretty much forever for your network marketing business. Okay. Now, when you start introducing your network marketing business to people too, the average income tends to go up a lot as well. Okay, but we're just going to use a low number just to start, just to give you an idea. So now what I figured out is to get to my $250 per month, okay, at my goal, which is in the next 5 weeks, I need to get 100 members. So I got 5 weeks to get 100 members now. Now, if I'm brand new again, and depending on where you're at in your business, if you already are currently generating members, you have an idea of how many you can do in a week. Okay, how many you can do in a day. You already know that. But if you're brand new, if you're at 0, okay, you don't really know how many you can do in a week. You don't really know how many you can do in a day. So initially what we want to do is we want to set our goal, and this is a goal that everybody should try to achieve, is 1 a day. Okay, the initial goal that you want to try to achieve is 1 a day. Get 1 new member per day. So when you first start, you can only get 1 in a week. Okay, some people only ever get 1 in a week, which is okay. Okay, don't feel discouraged by that because you got to start somewhere. See, the whole point of network marketing and advertising and marketing in this industry is for you to just always compete with yourself and do better than you did the week before, better than you did the day before, okay, better than you did the month before. Okay, you don't need to go be a superstar and start competing with Carl. You don't have to start competing with Joel Broughton or with Michelle. Okay, you don't have to compete with us. You only have to compete with yourself. Okay, you want to compete with yourself. All right, so that means that if you can only do 1 a week, great, you do 1 a week. But next week, you got to get at least 2. Okay, so we always want to be constantly improving, and I like to coin it or use a term, I guess, that was taught to me by Anthony Robbins. For those of you guys that have ever listened to anything by Anthony Robbins, he uses a term called CANI, constant and never-ending improvement, and that's something that I truly live by in my life. Ever since I heard it, it probably would have been at least 7 or 8 years ago now that I listened to that audio, and he said, constantly improve. Constant and never-ending improvement will get you to anything that you want in life, which means that you do better today than you did the day before, okay? In your business, in your advertising, in your relationships with your kids, in your schooling, in your job, whatever it is that you're currently doing, if you get a little bit better today, and you do a little bit more today than you did the day before, you'll see astronomical results after a year of doing that. Okay, and I want you to just take this as an example. Let's say right now we're currently doing 1 a week. Okay, you can only get 1 a week, and it's hard. Well, I'll tell you what. Next week you need to improve. You can't just do 1 again. You need to get better than that 1. So that means that you got to get at least 2. Okay, so week 2 you need to get at least 2. Week 3 you need more than 2, right? You need at least 3 in the week, 3 new members in the week. Week 4 you need at least 4. Okay, so if you do that over the course of a year and you always constantly get a little bit better, by the end of the year, since there's 52 weeks in the year, going just a little bit better every week. Okay, you don't have to make huge leaps. Okay, you don't have to make huge results. You just need to get an incy-bincy little bit better. Okay, by the end of 52 weeks, by the end of a year, okay, you'll now be sponsoring 52 new members per week. Okay, and I want you to kind of let that sink in for a minute. Just think about that. Okay, think about that, how that's going to happen. Week 1, we do 1. Week 2, we do 2. Week 3, we do 3. Some people go crazy. Week 4, they might do 7. But then week 5, they got to do 8. As long as you constantly improve and you never go backwards, you'll at least by the end of 1 year, you'll be sponsoring 52 new members per week. Every week, 52, 52, 52, 52. After a month, you got 200 members. Right? Think about how astronomical that's going to be for your business and how exciting that really is. But you got to start at 1. Okay? You can't start at 52 because you don't know how to do it. But that's because they've spent the last 6 months or a year learning how to do it and constantly improving, constantly getting better. There's some people in their network marketing business currently. You're sitting there going, how is this going to help my network marketing business? How am I going to sponsor people in that? Well, you use the same concept. 1 a week, 2 a week, 3 a week. You constantly get better. And what's going to happen, people will start coming to you about your primary business. It's not going to happen week 1 because you only got one. It might not happen week 2, but by week 4 or 5, you're going to start people coming and approaching you and calling you. By the end of the year, if you sponsor 52 people a week, 53 people, 54 people, what's going to happen? A lot of those people are going to be calling you about your primary business, and you're going to be able to achieve your goal. Okay, but this is going to be a learning process. It's something new that I want everybody to understand that, as we grow, and we're all at different levels right now. Some people are brand new. Some people have got 1,000 members or more, okay? But we need to all use that same concept. If you're currently sponsoring, you got to look at last week. If you currently sponsored 20 people last week, and the week before you did 20, and the week before you did 20, and the week before you did 20, I don't look at that as very good. Okay, some of you may think, geez, he sponsors 20 every week. I look at it as, geez, you're the same every week. It's great that you got 20 new ones, but you should be getting 21. Then you should get 22. Then you should get 25. Then you should get 30. You should be constantly improving. So I want everybody to live by that, especially during Fast Track, but even beyond Fast Track, constant and never-ending improvement, daily and weekly and monthly and yearly. You need to get better on a daily basis. You need to improve on a daily basis to constantly improve. So let's go back to my example now, where we've got 5 weeks to make $250 per month. Okay, and again, you can adjust your numbers based on what you want. Maybe you want 1,000. Maybe you want 5,000. I don't know. Okay, but I'm going to just do it based on these. I need 100 members. Now, week 1, because I'm brand new, I'm not going to be able to get 20 members. Okay, I want you to think about that. Chances are I'm not going to be able to get 20 members week 1 if I'm brand new, if I've never done that before. So I'm going to set my goal at 7 members. Okay, I'm going to set my goal at 7 members for week 1. Okay, and basically that's going to be what I'm going to try to accomplish. I'm going to try to accomplish 1 a day, week 1. Now I may hit that, I may not. I may hit more than that. Okay, and I can adjust my goals afterwards. But basically week 1, and then let's say week 2, let's say 10 members. Week 3, let's say 15 members. Week 4. Well, it looks like we're going to have to jump a lot quicker than this. Maybe week 3 we do 25 members or 20 members. Week 4 we got maybe 30 members. Week 5, 40 members. Okay, 40, 70, 90, 107. Okay, but we always got better, right? And you're going to be able to adjust. So initially I've got a plan of week 1, 7, week 2, 10, week 3, 20, week 4, 30, and week 5, 40, okay, which is going to get me to my goal. I'm going to have to adjust this as I go, though. Okay, so initially you can make up your plan, throw some numbers down in terms of what you want to do, but you really want to just concentrate right now on week 1. I just set some other numbers there just to make sure I could accomplish my goal in terms of 100 members per for the 5 weeks. Okay, and I did it at an increasing rate. Okay, I did it so I constantly had to improve every week. But I wanted to set the first goal. I didn't want to set the first goal at 20 and then blow myself out of the water if I didn't achieve it. All right, I just wanted to do 1 a day initially, and then 1 and a bit a day. Then we start going a little bit crazier and go nuts, right? Once you can do 1 a day, if you know how to get 1 a day, chances are you might know how to get 2 a day, right? You just do double the amount of activity you did to get 1 a day. You just spend double the amount of advertising dollars. You just spend double the amount of time, whatever it is that you're doing. If you're using free methods or if you're using paid methods, you just do double whatever it is that you did to get 1 a day to get 2 a day. How do you get 4 a day? Well, right, you just double what you did to get 2 a day, right? And then you get 4 a day, so that's 28 a week, right? How do you get 5 a day? Well, add in more effort, add in more of what you're currently doing to get those results. But we got to start at 1. Okay? We got to start at 1 a day, or we got to start at 1 a week. Okay, some people start at 1 a week, 2 a week, 3 a week. Okay, those are the kind of numbers that are usually realistic for a brand new member. To set your goals at 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 a week Okay, that's kind of an initial baseline that most new members go for. And again, I don't want anybody to be disheartened by having to set a goal at 1 or 2 a week because, this internet stuff might be new to you. You might have never done internet marketing before. But at the end of 52 weeks, you should be up to 52 a week, okay, or at least 40 a week, okay, and constantly be improving to be able to get there. Okay, so that's my goal, okay, and you guys all need to set some goals, okay, in terms of what you want to accomplish in the next 5 weeks. And this isn't going to be kind of like I'll set a goal that I know I can achieve. This is I'm going to set a goal higher than I think is possible for myself. Not astronomical, not out of this world, not something that you got no chance of ever achieving, okay, but you got to set a goal that's a little bit higher than what you think is possible, because that's going to push you faster. That's going to push you harder to achieve your goals, okay, to be able to get there. All right, so we need to do that. We need to set our goals at a little bit higher than, push ourselves a little bit more, and we need to set our week 1 goal, okay? So tonight's homework for everybody, okay, is you need to set your goal because that fills our pipeline to build our network marketing business. You need to fill the numbers there, okay, and get those members in the door in the system to be able to have success. So that's what we're going to measure. Okay, that's what we're going to measure your success is how many members you got. So everybody tonight, you need to set yourself a goal and you need to write it down in terms of how many members you're going to get between today and next Monday. Okay, for 1 full week, for 7 days. Between today and next Monday, you're going to set yourself a goal. Now, like I said, if you're brand new, you might set a goal of a couple. You might set a goal of 1. You might set a goal of 4. Okay? You need to work your way up, whether it be week 1 or week 3 or week 5. You need to work your way up to at least 7 a week, okay? 1 a day. That's our ultimate goal. For this Fast Track, I want every single member in Fast Track to be at least at 1 a day by the end of the 5 weeks. Okay, that's my goal, is to help you guys be able to get to at least 1 a day. For those of you guys that are a lot more than that now, that are enrolling, sponsoring maybe 10 or 20 or 30 members already a week, I want you to improve by the end of the 5 weeks. I need you to be better than what you currently are doing per week. Okay, constantly and constant, never-ending improvement. So constantly improving what we're doing. Okay, so that's your homework for tonight, is to set your goal for next week. Now, what you're going to do next week when you meet with your team, okay, and normally what we're going to do is we're going to cut this call off at 9:30, okay, to be able to break off in our teams. But tonight we're not going to do that. I'm going to spend a few more minutes with you guys. I'm just going through a couple other things that I wanted to talk about. And then next week when you meet with your team, what you're going to do, and this is important that I kind of set everybody up so you know what you're going to do, is you're going to obviously introduce yourselves. You can take a minute or two at the beginning of the call to tell everyone, where you're from, your name, that kind of thing. We don't talk about primary businesses on Fast Track calls, but what you're going to do is you're going to introduce yourself, where you're from. You can tell a little bit about yourself if you want. And then what you're going to do is you're going to share how you made out the week before. Okay, so how you made out this week 1 with the team. And you're also going to set a goal for the following week. Okay, so you're going to set a goal for week 2 in terms of how many members you're going to sponsor. Now, your goal for week 2 has to be higher than what you achieved week 1. Okay, it always has to be higher than what you achieved the week before, even if it's only higher by 1. It always has to be higher. Okay, always has to be higher. So if in week 1 you sponsor 5 Pay It Forward members, you're going to have to set a goal of at least 6. Okay, but you can set a goal of 7 or 10 or 20 or whatever it is that you want. But again, try to set them based on realistic expectations in terms of what you plan on doing. If you did 5 this week and you set a goal of 50 next week, heck, you better be doing 10 times as much activity and spending 10 times as much money as you did the week before in advertising, okay, to be able to achieve that. So set goals based on what you feel you can achieve. Now, I'm going to mention one other thing, too. We do our best to match up everyone in Fast Track with team leaders, okay, people that are experienced in Pay It Forward for Profits. people that can obviously give you some tips and hints and help you out as well. But we don't always get that, okay? We don't, sometimes some of the team leaders have other commitments and they got to pull out halfway through Fast Track. Sometimes something happens and we don't have enough team leaders, so we end up with some Fast Track teams with a bunch of newbies, okay? That's why I run the first half of every Fast Track call, okay? That's why I do 9 to 9:30. So you can still learn from me. I still give you some motivation. I still give you some tips and ideas. I still kind of get you going and get you raring to go for Fast Track. So even if you don't have a team leader or an experienced person on your call, if there's 3 or 4 of you there, you guys still need to talk. You don't just sit around waiting for something to happen. You need to be the leader. You need to say, okay, great. I'm going to set my goals. I'm going to talk to everybody. I'm going to share some ideas in terms of what we did. Okay, and make sure you still set your goals, share your goals in terms of what you did, okay, and make it productive, okay. Sometimes the team leader won't be there. Sometimes, things happen, okay. I know things happen in my life sometimes, and I got to miss calls here and there. I got to miss, some things. Now, one other note about Fast Track is that if you're not dying in the hospital, we expect you to be here. Okay, that's about your only excuses if you're, if you got hit by a car and you're in the hospital. Now, I don't mean to say that in case anybody has gone through that, and I don't mean to poke fun at that, but really, you need to make a commitment to your Fast Track team. You need to be accountable to your team to show up on a weekly basis. If you signed up for Fast Track, you got to be here. You got to show up. I mean, you pick the time, you pick the day. You need to come on a regular basis, and you need to always show up. You need to always be here because it's only for 5 weeks. It's a very short period of time, and what you're going to find is if you make that commitment to your business and you make that commitment to your team to always be here, it's going to have a huge impact on your business. It's going to have a huge impact on your life. It's going to have a huge impact on the way that you perceive home-based businesses and the Internet, okay, and Internet marketing, and how you can become successful. It's going to have a huge impact, I guarantee you, and you're going to carry that momentum through the rest of the year and the years to come just for being part of the next 5 weeks, okay? So always make sure you show up. Now, I think that's about everything that I wanted to go through tonight. Okay, I think that's about everything. So I'm going to give you some time. You got about 25 minutes usually that we're going to spend on the calls, but you've got that time to be able to set your own goal, okay, for the first week. If you don't know what to do, how do I get to the goal, get into the Internet Marketing Guide, okay? Get in there and start learning how to get some traffic to your website, how to start doing that. There's tons of recordings. There's some videos, great videos in there for you. And one last note, you all have, for those of you guys that registered, okay, and didn't pay yet, okay, I'm going to say something about this. If you've registered but you didn't pay yet, it's $25, okay, and it really isn't a lot of money. The reason why we put a price tag on Fast Track, though, in terms of a dollar amount, is because we don't want people that aren't serious about their business coming and meeting. Okay, I'd rather have 2 teams of 4 people and just have 8 people coming to Fast Track that actually paid and made that commitment than have 80 or 90 or 200 or 400 people that all take it for granted, that all show up whenever they feel like it, right, because it was free. Okay, so if you don't pay, you've got basically until 10 o'clock Eastern time. Okay, if you're listening to this call on Wednesday, we'll give the Wednesday people a little bit longer. We'll give you obviously until tomorrow. But anybody who's registered for Tuesday evening, for a Tuesday evening team, you have exactly 23 minutes to pay. Okay? And if you can't get that done in the next 23 minutes, you're not going to be put on a team and you won't be in Fast Track. And it's as simple as that because we've already given you the time, obviously, in the coming weeks, the last number of weeks as people registered, you should have received an email with the Fast Track information. As well as the PayPal address to send the payment to so that we can, pay for some great prizes for you guys and things like that. So make sure you got 22 minutes now, okay, to make that payment through PayPal. And if you don't know what it is, make sure you reply to Michelle and ask her, okay, over the email. But I think she gave it already at the beginning of the call. Send your $25 there and make sure that you let Michelle know who that's coming from. And that you make sure that you let her know that that's for Fast Track. Okay, so you guys have 21 minutes now. The longer I keep talking, I guess you got less time to get that money in. Otherwise, you're not in Fast Track. Okay, you can come and join the next one, but definitely we want only serious people on the teams, and that's why we gave you right up until today, because there was still lots of people that hadn't paid yet. So I'm going to kind of extend it for another 21 minutes. At 10 o'clock though Eastern time, I'm cutting it off. So if you pay at 10:03. We're either going to send you your money back or we can keep it for the next Fast Track. Okay? So make sure you get those payments in right away to Michelle so that we can put you on a team. And if you don't make it in, you're not going on a team and you won't get to participate. Okay? That's it for tonight. Make sure you set your goals for next week, everyone. Look for an email from us later on this evening or tomorrow with all the Fast Track teams. We'll have conference call numbers for you to meet with after the Fast Track calls starting next week. So make sure you set your goal. Make sure you achieve your goal for next meeting, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys all next week for some more great training, as well as meeting and setting our goals, and you'll be able to work with your Fast Track team next week. Have a great evening, everyone. For those of you guys listening to the recording Wednesday, have a great day, and we'll see you guys all next week. Bye for now.